Okay, make sure the link still works. Cool. Yeah, so the point of the stream, a lot like our last one and future ones we'll have, is to have another developer with us and to just take, 20 minutes apiece and show off a chunk of our game that we think is cool and have a bit of a QA, both between us and the other developer, as well as you guys in the stream. Oh my gosh.
Classic.
Is it better now? Gabriel's on our case too. This is a nightmare.
I apologize, it's me. I'm cursed. Whenever I do a live stream, something always goes
My
wrong.
mic is fine. Ha. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it sounds like we're good now.
Going on? Yeah, it's just me. I'm muted.
Okay.
All right. Oh, goodness.
Weird. That didn't happen last
All
time.
right. Should be better here. Sorry if I just blew everybody's ears out. Okay, sorry. My name is Bryce Chalinas from Polo Studios. With us we have Ben from Thieving Pixels. Thanks for hanging with us. Definitely let me know if we're muted again. Really appreciate that. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. You're the best. All right, so Ben from Thieving Pixels. He's working on this awesome game called Broken. It's an adventure game. He likens it to Myst, which I actually played a long time ago. It's a pretty cool game. But Broken looks awesome as well. I'm really excited for him to show it off to us and talk about it. As well as Tyler Klein. He's from Marco Polo Studios, the co-owner with me, and we're working on a game called Inanis, which we'll show off as well. But I'm going to turn it over to Tyler real fast so he can introduce himself, talk about what we're doing here, as well as, and then Ben after that. And then we're going to jump right into Broken.
Great. Yes, as you said, I'm Tyler Klein. I'm one of the owners of Marco Polo Studios, and we're publishing a game developed by Gabriel Hatcher called Inanis. And that's a deck building boss rush game, and it's about to go to Kickstarter. Really excited about that. And so the idea of these streams, and we did one last week, was really successful and fun, and we have more coming, is to have another dev with us and to talk about the process, to show maybe 25 minutes of a part of our game just to give you guys a taste of it, and then kind of do some Q&A and talk a little bit with each other and anybody in the stream. So please post any and all questions or comments, banter of any kind. And then that way you guys hopefully get an idea of what we're doing, and it can be exciting for you to maybe join our projects and join discords and like be part of this community for us. So Ben, do you have any thoughts, things you want to kick in before you just launch into your game?
No, just to say thanks for the invite. I do really appreciate it, and I think the format you guys got running here is brilliant. I might steal it myself.
Yeah.
And do something.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's really good. It's nice to be in the company of other developers and doing a stream where I can get to talk to someone for once, and I don't sound like I'm going crazy talking to myself. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think, just in general, it's really awesome. I want to see this growth of indie developers working together because we don't always have all those resources that AAA studios have, those crazy marketing teams and all that. And so it's just fun. Like, I think anybody who succeeds in indie dev, we all succeed. So, really want to see your game take off, and we're going to be, your biggest fans and stuff in your Discord and things. So, awesome to have you here. Really excited to see the game.
Cool. Okay, so Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I'll sort of give a bit of background as to the game then, and then jump into it. So I've been working on this game for now for about 8 months. It's my first 3D game, so it's the first time I've used Unity. I'd say I've learned a lot about Unity and sort of getting to the point of being very comfortable with it now. I think I'm ready to sort of start adding the real true game elements that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've felt held back because I'm not quite there. Um, so that's where I'm at. As you say, this game is based on a lot of things. Like Myst is one game. I love sci-fi, so this is heavily influenced on things like Lost, X-Files. All the good sci-fi films as well. Elements of that I'm trying to get in and using for inspiration. And I've got the storyline in my mind. I know where it's going to finish now, and it's kind of like I'm sort of winging it a little bit and trying to work out, how I get to the end of the story.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like I've got a lot of narrative. I've got two characters that you sort of interact with or read about, hear about, and now you're going to understand or find out, what's going on in this crazy island. And unlike Lost and Myst, I'm actually trying to move things along quite quickly. I love Lost, but it took forever to get to the fun bits. The sci-fi bits and the trapdoor, and that sort of stuff. So, like with my game, I'm trying to really sort of progress it quite quickly, in terms of like, here's the sci-fi elements. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, let's go jump right into it whenever you're ready. If you want to share the stream, I'm anxious to see it. So.
Cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do to begin with is actually play a video, which is the introduction, and this is from my game. Unfortunately, today I had a problem with the dialogue system, so the dialogue on the cutscene doesn't play, which is you need to see the text to be able to know what's going on. So I'm just going to play this video, then we'll jump into the game. But this video essentially is what happens right at the beginning of the game. When you first play, launch the game, this is what you see.
Awesome.
I'll hit play and.
I'm loving this aesthetic.
Yeah.
Can you see the colours okay? Because it's quite dark.
Yeah, so it was kind of dark, but when it cut in with like almost the iris looking thing, that looked awesome.
Yeah, I like that effect as well. So essentially, this is the end of the game, and this is the end of the story, and we're going to rewind and start from the beginning so that you can see the events that took place to end up here. So it's a bit of a back to front approach. Yeah, and a special thanks to Dan, who's on the stream today. Like, he's been a massive help in my game, sort of giving me advice, testing builds for me. Again, like this is all what I love about the indie dev side, is just getting people involved. And
whoa, are we underwater right now?
Yeah, I just
Sorry
picked
to
up on that.
interject. It just like blew my mind.
yeah.
I realized those weren't birds; those are fish.
Whoa. Also, I love the music.
Yeah, some guy made that.
Was that Tyler? Is this your music, Tyler?
It is.
Okay.
They're together.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm just going to kill that and launch the game so that I can take over.
That was pretty darn cool,
Awesome.
though.
I was
So
I was really liking your intro screen too, and like the whole intro is really good. Got
Also,
me
thank you.
thinking.
What I love about it is it's all in game as well. So the transition's a bit stuttery at the moment, so I'm going to be working on that. But I want a nice sort of rewind effect at the end, so that like the water just falls down in front of you, and you're on that bright island going, oh right, and then you can just carry on playing the game as if nothing ever happened. So yeah, I'm really happy with the intro. I've got to say, spent quite a bit of time on that.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely have a million questions, but I'll take up the whole stream if I ask. But needless to say, I'm sure Tyler as well, we're all really impressed with that. Can tell that you put a ton of work into it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a good one. Oh no.
The logo is great, by the way.
I love the logo. It's taken a
With
while
the
to
title, yeah.
get it right, but okay, cool. I'm just going to skip that because we've done that bit. So obviously we've just seen the intro, and now we've slipped into the game. A big thing for me has been sort of trying to get it to look. Have I lost you guys? Is it frozen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's here. It's not frozen. It looks.
Okay.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah. So this is HDR pipeline, so high definition render pipeline that Unity can sort of chuck out, and this is what I've spent so much time trying to not only get right, because you can tweak everything, but get it performant as well.
Yeah.
So I really want this game to be smooth and fluid. Sorry.
So all of this narration is going to be past tense, then it seems.
Yeah. So this is exactly past tense. It's the
Whoa.
character explaining to you what happened. And at the moment it's very sort of quiet. I think actually some of the audio that should be playing isn't playing. That's because I'm in debug. But there's lots of bird chatter. There's you can hear the ocean splashing in and out.
Yeah.
I just wanted very sort of naturistic feel to it at this point.
Yeah, at one
So we
point,
can go
like a leaf kind of swept in front of the camera. The physics on it looked really good for a leaf. Looked really realistic.
The little particle generators are great, aren't they? The grass as well. I think it's. I've got a thing with grass. I've never liked it in games when they do the sort of paper approach. Two bits of paper that are crossed over. So I really wanted a different approach to that, and I think this is why I've had so much troubles with performance, because obviously this is rendering a hell of a lot at once. But using this asset called Nature Renderer, which is you can get for Unity, they do occlusion techniques. Occlusion.
Yeah.
To help the performance. So I was really happy to find this, and
Oh my goodness.
you can take photos.
But do that again. I missed it. I was looking at the YouTube stream.
I missed that. Well, sorry, it's
Oh, you pulled
Photo.
up the camera or something. It was.
yeah, it's not working.
Oh, sorry. But it was cool.
No.
It's
Oh,
okay. I'll
that's
see it
fine.
in the stream later.
And these are all demo builds. It's not like, this is going live tomorrow. So we're indie devs. We all understand that this is a work in progress.
Yeah, you get it. That's so embarrassing. Like, that is one feature I've had in since day one, which has been fine.
So it
Now
goes.
it's just-
We just had something we pushed today that broke the whole build. That it was like just an audio thing, and some reason that broke everything. And that happens. So,
all over the place, doesn't it? It's,
oh, I
so
love-
the music originally was quite dominant in the game, but I decided to cut it right back and just have it trigger at key moments in the game. So this is like, you've just landed on the island, exploring, so let's have a little bit of adventurous music.
And what's the
There's,
composer's name?
Oh, this is Jackson Wallace.
Jackson
Oh,
Moss.
cool.
Jackson Wallace.
Great job,
Yeah.
Jackson.
He's on Twitter. He's he's done a great job. Like the brief, I'm not very good at sort of describing things, as you can probably tell. I'm stumbling a lot and jumping all over the place. So
No,
my
you're
brief
great.
to him was a bit like that, and I think he really got it right.
Yeah, almost like kind of Breath of the Wild vibes I'm getting too, of like more subtle, like as you're kind of enjoying
Right.
nature. But maybe
Yeah,
that's not
lots
what
of
you're going
breath.
for. But I'm loving this world, and so your whole goal is you're just trying to get off this island or discover what's going on and such.
I should have told you what the goal is. I totally forgot. I didn't pick up the backpack either. So there's you've arrived on this island to meet a friend who's camping. He's a day ahead of you, and he's given you a map, which is in the backpack. But I've left the backpack by the boat.
We can go grab it if you want. I don't mind
Did you run back?
seeing the world going back. Looks like some
Okay,
cool
well,
some
architecture
cool
going. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Do you know what? I think during lockdown, I've done so much walking and exploration, and when I'm out there now, I just see everything as an opportunity to bring it into the game. You know, so just
Yeah.
look at the environment and try and mix it into the game somehow.
Fun fact, that's actually the creator of Legend of Zelda had the same thing too. He'd walk out in the jungles in Japan and go exploring and stuff, and that's kind of how he put together this very different. Didn't have all this cool 3D graphics and stuff that we have now, but that same kind of idea. So it's really cool to see that living on in this cool 3D world that we have.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, there's a rabbit.
bunny.
Little bunny.
A bunny or a rabbit?
Yeah, they run. Is there a difference?
I don't know. I thought I'd pose it to you.
Asking the big questions.
Okay, so I've picked up my backpack. I'm trying to avoid giving the player too much. I'm trying to keep it as real as possible. So the story mentions, you've got to go meet your mate, or you're here to meet your friend at the campsite. So hopefully the player sort of thinks, well, I've only got 2 items on me. What can I do with them? And the first thing is like, go find the campsite essentially.
Mhm.
And my brief to Nick Bashford, who did the art for the map, was I didn't want a precise map. Said to him, like, imagine you've seen the island or been to the island. It's been a few weeks, and now you're redrawing it from memory, so it's not 100% spot on. So again, it's, the map. It's a good indication of where to go, but it's not precise.
Yeah, I like it. And you kind of just have to use those landmarks and stuff, like find the mountains, kind of just head in that
Yeah,
general
absolutely.
direction. Doesn't necessarily tell you how to get there or through them or anything.
No. So I just need to run back over to the other side of the island. So the other thing I did last week actually was test this in VR, because that's been a goal of mine, personal goal that I want to achieve, and I'm really happy to say that it's actually really slick in VR. Like it's so
Oh, cool.
smooth now that yeah, and it just adds a whole nother level. I mean, it's so hard to explain to VR to people who have not experienced it for themselves, but having everything at scale is mind-blowing. When you see the mothership and you can look up and see how big it is in relation to everything else and see it in that 3D space, it just adds a whole new dimension to gaming.
In the chat here, glimpse of Luna Trismegistas. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Actually, I've never questioned it, but he said he had a great idea for the map design and great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Also, he's from a game called Glimpse of Luna. It's a card game. You should all go check it out. It's awesome. So he's another dev watching us.
Yeah, feel free to put your link in the chat.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and I was going to say, somebody in our Discord, Aaron, I think, Tyler, you've been playing games with him recently. I think his tag's Qualikim in the Discord. He actually has a background in working in VR stuff, too. So I'm sure if you guys ever run into each other on the Discord, he'd have some thoughts and want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm watching this text and I'm getting some serious Ancient Alien vibes, which excites me.
Good.
I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way. I just
No, it's
saw some stuff about the pyramids and how did they get there, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, this is it. So this is I'm trying to interject like elements of alien activity through the story. I want you kind of to sort of relate to the character, and this character, as you'll find out, is a little bit paranoid about sort of thing. Has his own theories on aliens and. Sorry.
The line.
We all have that friend.
Yeah. So you've arrived at site, and your friend isn't here. Again, not giving too much away. I mean, I'm obviously going to show you guys what's going on, but for the players playing for the first time, they've got to kind of explore. And we find a walkie-talkie. My pop-ups have vanished as well. Normally it tells you picked up an item. And we've got a note. So the note is from your friend that you're supposed to meet here,
Awesome.
obviously. And again, I'm going to rewrite this. A lot of this is placeholder art for now. Obviously, this is terrible, but just for the demo, it sort of gives you a bit of indication that you can use a radio.
Oh, cool. That kind of reminds me
So at
of
this point,
Firewatch a little bit, right? The radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I kind of got, out of the woods with the radio. Cool.
It's funny you say that because someone else pulled it out on Twitter, and then I went and did my research on Firewatch, and I was like, yeah, I can see why.
Also, it's small, but that radio looks great.
Yeah.
Texturally and stuff. Like, your game is really pretty.
Thanks. I really do appreciate feedback like that because it's a big deal to me. Having it looking really good.
Yeah.
I am trying to work out why this isn't working.
That's okay.
Oh no.
See, it's good doing streams like this though too, because I heard a lot of people talking about the one we had last time, that had seen a demo of it months earlier, just talking about all the improvements and things too. So it'd be fun to do like something like this again, in a couple of months and really see all the progress and really show that
Yeah.
off to everybody too. So and
Yeah.
we have that too. We like our UI right now is completely placeholder, like all of it, and we're working on replacing it. So. Whoa.
This is all going out of sync. I might need to launch my Unity build. Let me just see if I can do that. Sorry, this
Oh, that's fine.
is very frustrating. Let me see if this is going to work.
Somebody
Syntax
yeah,
error
thank you.
wonders if you've reduced the radio beeping.
No, the radio just isn't beeping because it's broken. That's the problem.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Please,
Yes.
please. You can see Unity now, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can see Unity.
Cool. Okay, this build is the latest and greatest. So
So how long have you been working on this?
it's coming up to 10 months.
Oh goodness,
Um,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, by yourself too, right? So
Yeah, and I've probably rebuilt it about 3 times. In all honesty, I've gotten to the point of just starting from scratch because you know what it's like. You get to a certain point where things are just so messy and untidy, and
Yeah,
it's just like, sometimes it's worth just scrapping everything and starting again and taking the learnings and building on
absolutely.
top of that.
Yeah, the guy who invented Splunky actually said he deleted it, like the whole thing, like 20 times or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he's a huge component. I've read his stuff of you should be able to delete everything and build it again, and it's
Right.
going to be better every time. So that's always frightening to me as a dev, but it's definitely a philosophy that's out there.
what's great as a solo dev too, and it's harder to do that when you got like 20 people, But as a solo dev, that's actually a lot of freedom you get
Yeah.
to really engage in that you don't have with other avenues.
No, so true. Yeah, I love the freedom of being an indie dev because you can just make decisions like that and just move on. You don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to go chasing anyone up. It's just, no, I've had enough. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So the game, I don't know if you can hear this now, but
There's the
essentially we're
beeping.
following the radar. Yeah.
I'd like to point out the giant black thing in the sky.
Oh yes, I'll get into that.
Behind a tree now. Oh, the flowers look great.
Oh yeah, there's the camera. Sorry.
Oh yeah, there we go. Did you miss it again, Tyler?
No, I got it this time.
Oh my goodness, the Death Star up there.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Arrival with the bean things coming up in the
Ah.
sky.
Big inspiration.
It's my favorite movie actually, so this game's resonating with me.
So the body's placeholder. Obviously,
Whoa.
I'll have something a bit more realistic looking than that mannequin. But hopefully it gives an idea.
Yeah.
What? That's awesome.
Huh.
It's just gone.
Now you're alone.
He's gone. He's had enough. But he has dropped something. Again, I really love this piece of music that Jackson did. It's just enough to be eerie without being too
Yeah.
too loud.
What is that on the grass?
That is a strange device.
Huh.
So that was dropped from the mothership. Sorry guys, I've lost. There you go. That was dropped from the mothership from the abductee. So now we've got something very bizarre. Oh, this is another thing I really like as well. The grass gets squashed as you walk in it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm noticing this grass around where the mothership was is like almost burned or something compared to all the rest of it. It's a nice detail.
Yeah. I want to make use of it somehow. Like maybe you have to chase an alien through a cornfield and
Yeah.
you can follow the path or something.
Oh man.
That would be cool. Yeah, I
That's
definitely
cool.
see all the potential with that for sure. I
Yeah.
love that too. Just like good signposting and stuff, it makes it a really accessible experience for all sorts of different players.
Yeah, and I can hear all the ambient sounds now. With the
Yeah,
scrub.
I'm not talking, but it's just because I'm like absorbed in what's going on.
Hey, hello. Am I coming through okay? I know, you must have 1,000 thoughts running through your mind right now.
Whoa.
Let me introduce myself. The name is Noah. Save your words. This device is only one way. You probably just experienced something really odd, scary even. I don't know exactly what, but keep changing it. I'm not allowed to help you, they don't like that either. But you have to trust me, it's all going to make sense later. You must keep going. The fact that you're listening to me now is evidence that you have what it takes. Head back to the site, try and get some rest, you'll need the sleep. Oh, and your friend or partner, try and let go of them, they're safe, okay? I'll be in touch, keep this device closed. Bye for now.
Oh my goodness. So did you get like voice acting to do that, or was that you?
No, that's me with a
Awesome.
voice
That's what I
voice
thought.
acting.
It sounds great. That's super cool.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? So is that like a post effect on your voice in Unity, or is that like something you did in another software and then imported it in?
Yeah, there's a website that does voice generators, all kinds of generators. So I just recorded something very quick and nasty, chucked it through that, and I was like, that'll do for now.
Yeah.
Once I get the script written and I'm happy with it all, then I'll pay for someone to do it properly. But
That's
Now
awesome.
was that the strange device that did that?
yeah.
Okay.
And there was no text to that. I need to add the text, but essentially there's a guy called Noah who's contacted you. He's saying, keep that device close. He's not allowed to help you out too much because they don't like it. But go get some rest and calm down for the night. So that's essentially what we're doing now. And again, some of these transitions are a bit blunt, but there's a cutscene here where we go to the tent and decide to have a little rest. Guys, how long have I been going for?
It's 12:30.
Exactly half an hour. Whoa.
Oh gosh. Like, we do need to move on, but I'm not ready for it. Like, this is so cool, you know?
Yeah, we might need to have like a follow-up stream, like starting here or something, if that's not too difficult to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to pause now and we'll slip over to Inanis.
It's just so cool. but I know we only have an hour, and we probably should show
Yeah.
Inanis to anybody that's wanting to see it. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
I'm
it's
enthralled. Like honestly,
Yeah.
like I am now just full like. When you going live, are you doing a Kickstarter? Like, what's your goal here? Because I'm ready to get this.
Yeah, well, that's actually, let's ask that. Yeah, what is your trajectory and your plan for this game?
So right now, there's to me there's still a lot of work that needs tidying up for a demo. As you've seen, there's some parts need smoothing out. The story needs to be a bit clearer. The voice acting needs to be in. So I think I've got a couple of months just to really sort of hone in on to the demo. The scenes are now set, so I know what I need to complete for the demo, which is taking me a while to get to that point, to be honest. So my goal is to get this demo done by the end of the year. If I can get it done by November, that'd be brilliant, because that'll be the anniversary, because I started November last year. Get the demo, and then I think I've not given Kickstarter too much thought at this stage, to be honest. I think I'd rather get, I don't know.
Just
I need to think about it.
building your community and things like that, probably, and just like your Twitter and things, which I can totally see. It's really visually impressive, and I'm definitely, and the story, honestly, like you're saying, it needs a lot of work, but honestly, I've seen a lot of different games at different stages and stuff, and this is honestly really polished. Like, and so I guess I'm hoping, I'm probably biased, but I'm like, I hope you get to your demo sooner than later, because, you know, I'm fine with those little things that we work through, but I understand the appeal. Like, you want it to be perfect, you want to make a really good first impression, so I totally get that as well. But I really hope, you know, the demo comes out soon. So you're thinking about doing your demo through like Steam Early Access or something like that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Get some, get it on Steam, get some feedback as well, and then start adding the next elements to the game, which are essentially these big motherships that arrive, and they're kind of like the dungeons in Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah.
You do the work out the puzzle, you get an item that you can use in the real world to access and achieve puzzles that you couldn't solve before. All sort of building up to the big reveal as to you know, how the end of the world got kicked off.
Yeah, end of the world, huh? Spoilers. I'm pretty excited. That sounds awesome. Well,
That was great.
I can go ahead and boot up Nani's if you want to start giving. Yeah, thank you, Ben, for showing that off.
Yeah, and you should put your Discord invite link and maybe your Twitter in the chat.
Yeah.
And then we will combine our Discords later.
It is in the description. I threw the Discord link in, but definitely any resources
Cool.
or your Twitter handle or anything you want to share, I definitely recommend.
Awesome. Okay, I'll do that now. Thank you, guys.
So I'm booting up Anani's. It takes a second, but I don't know if you want to talk about it or introduce it at all, Tyler. Or...
Yeah. So I think the developer is actually watching, Gabriel Hatcher. So he's the real creative genius here behind the game. And it's been through a couple different iterations as we've developed it and figured out the best way to go with it. But essentially, it's a deck building, not like Slay the Spire, where it's like one card at a time and super randomized, but a custom deck making game where you earn cards, you make a deck, and then it's only a boss rush. So right now there's no like minions and random affiliate levels planned. There's gonna be 15 to 18 bosses. Pretty dynamic, lots of different moves, lots of ideas, and so each fight's gonna be very different. And it is a Souls-like, I'd say inspired. It's inspired by Dark Souls and From Software and a lot of other games like that. So the point is, you're gonna get the crap kicked out of you quite a bit. But it's the point. Like there's a cool cycle we have, and maybe we'll get to show that here. You coming around and trying a new deck and learning their moves and things, and all the while you're doing this cycle, you're unpiling more lore as you die and go and die and go. And then the key thing here is we're also gonna have a lot of difficulties, not just hard mode, but each boss will scale with multiple difficulties with new moves and new things going on to make it much more challenging. So,
All right.
So,
Give
boss
me one
rush.
second. Pulling up the game.
Gabriel just said hello. Hello,
Hey,
Gabriel.
hey,
Glad
Gabriel.
you're here.
All right, let me just try sharing my screen, see if that works. Cool.
What does boss rush? What's the premise of a boss rush?
Yeah.
The idea is that it's like Cuphead. You only fight bosses. I think Cuphead has some
okay.
filler stuff, but
Or if you've ever played like Mega Man, oftentimes right before the final boss, they have you refight all the bosses in a row. So it's a really interesting concept that I've always been a really big fan of. And
but
the cool thing is like all these bosses and things are in different areas of the world, and you gain other cards and powers and things from fighting these bosses that are better, in different scenarios for other bosses and things. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, Gabriel, but the idea eventually is that it's not like this linear path. You can kind of pick and choose which areas you go to first. So you might want to like strategize and craft your deck around, these bosses that you're going into to eventually build up enough power to go overthrow the king.
the clarify, it's not like a roguelike where it's all one run. It's linear in the sense that you're going to defeat bosses and then defeat the next boss and like explore new things. So it's not like it's an endurance test.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, and what we're going to show here today is a little bit of deck making. It's pretty light for the demo, and we'll explain where it's going. You'll see a little conversation, then we're going to jump into a fight and show a little more of the fight. It's what we showed last time as well, but we're going to do some different cards and stuff this way and a little more, so.
Yeah, I can jump into. I had a run going, and I had died. So this is the Oracle. It's kind of who you see when you die. There's a lot of like fantasy magic aspect to it. The lore in this game, I think, is really awesome. Gabriel is a writer, and he has written up such a cool world that I'm really excited.
Published author.
about. Yeah, exactly. He's pro. And so all the dialogue and these characters and things like that, he's gone and written. So in this fight, when you die, you're resurrected by this mysterious Oracle character, and that's kind of how it explains the death loop in this game, because you're gonna die a lot. But the cool thing is, as you die, you might learn more information and things like that. It's not just this really standard what you think of in death in a video game, where it just like ends there and you jump back in and retry. So
before you go on, we can. Well, Ben, go ahead, ask your question.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say it's like you've been reincarnated, but you take the experience from your last death with you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a ton of lore behind it that you uncover. You can see here, our conversation. There's some UI changes to be made, but your conversation choices are a deck of or a card of hands, or a hand of cards. So everything you're doing everything with cards for the whole game for the most part. So then hearing what she says, and then you have one option, but before you had like 6. So that's just a cool finesse thing as far as that mechanic being there. But then there's so much we want to do with that. You could have to maybe draft a deck of conversation choices for a certain NPC and then hope you get the right ones. You could do, there's so many cool, you could have like a conversation fight. The point that we built it in the sense that it's cool, it matches the theme, and there's so many things we could do with the system of dialogue. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of one mechanic to interface with the world, but like Tyler's saying, so many possibilities you can do with that. So, yeah, so I'm going to go, like the Oracle saying, I'm going to glance into my rucksack here in a second. And you can actually pick your decks. I'm going to pick the standard decks because there's a card I really want to show off in the fight that I think is super cool.
Before you close that,
yeah,
I want to say something there. So, what we're planning right now, we first started with the idea of single cards. You make a deck and you pick like 15 individual cards or something. These are packages of 5 cards, almost like a booster pack of Magic cards. And the idea is they're not random, but you can't just go and cherry pick the best cards along the way.
Yep.
So while that may reduce some customization, the idea is all the cards are usable, but they're not all the pinnacle, and so you have to deal with sometimes inefficient cards in a situation, and you can't just like perfect the deck and go. You have to be willing to adjust to things that don't go your way during the fight.
Yeah, you gotta know your strengths and your weaknesses. It's not just crafting the perfect deck. It's how do you deal with when you get something suboptimal as well.
Right.
And are you guys thinking of doing some form of in-app purchase for the cards, or is it like you buy the game, you get all the cards?
No, you buy the game, you get all the cards. I think we're a big component of, we want it to be skill-based. If you earn those cards, We have talked about the idea of, people who back the Kickstarter and stuff getting, you know, a certain deck or something, but it's not going to be, I don't want to speak for sure yet, but we don't want it to be something where it's pay to win. We really don't want that.
Sure. Yeah.
In your card, you unlock cards, but they're not randomly unlocked. So that's a key thing. So
Yeah.
So you can like,
And that helps with the balancing.
yeah, so you come to like an area here and there'll be NPCs and things you can talk to and stuff, but for now I'm just going to jump right into the fight. Just to show off the combat and stuff. So we have these 3 modes. There's like training mode, where it's mostly just to practice. The boss is a lot weaker, because a big component of this is you want to learn the boss's patterns, and then exploit those with your moveset to win. And then there's like normal mode, you know, the way the game is meant to be played the first time, you know, you've prepared and stuff as an average player. And then there's these soul modes, which is kind of like Ascension mode or other things in Slay the Spire stuff, where each time you beat it, it gets harder and harder and harder, and your rewards possibly, you know, get better and better. Or maybe, you know, there will be secret endings, maybe, I can't say anything, where, you know, depending on if you've been able to defeat things in soul mode to a certain level and then go fight the king, you'll learn more about the world, and, you know, things will be different. So Gabriel's probably like, don't spoil anything in the chat, but I'm so excited about the lore, I can't help but talk about it. And Tyler knows I love secret endings. But yeah, we can jump
Yes.
right into the fight.
right. So as he jumps in here, the demo is going to contain this one fight. This is the first boss of the game. He's the champion of the ugly infant. Now there's some cool lore behind that we can talk about later. But basically he's this fellow there on the right with a giant bone arm. And he runs this tavern and he fights to the death every night for glory, and he wins every time, and now here we are to stop that a winning streak.
Yeah, exactly. So on your first turn, you get the decks you've chosen out into your hand, and you actually, they're cards themselves, so you actually play them to put them into your deck on your first turn. So later in the game, you might have even more, you know, decks and things that you mix and match and stuff. There's a lot of cool mechanics we're working on there. But it's when you play it, it adds those cards into your deck. So for now, we're gonna go into it, and I'm just gonna end my turn. There's a tracker up here. It shows like whose turn it is. So he just did belligerent throws, which put some glass on the ground here. If we step on it, it'll do damage to us, so we want to dodge that. So there's some tactics with the grid and stuff. And I can actually, I think the music's kind of loud, so I can turn it down here a bit real fast, so we can hear each other talk and things. Alright.
Gabriel did warn us, no spoilers in the chat.
Okay, sorry Gabriel. So, I kind of know what's going on with this. I don't know if I should win or lose. I'm going to try to win because we kind of saw the death screen with the Oracle. So, I'm going to scan the field, which will give me an extra action each turn. We have our actions down here, and that decides how many cards you can play. So, I'm going to
That gives an action next turn, so you're
Yeah.
preparing.
And then a cool thing about Inanis, it has this unique mechanic where at the end of every turn, you have to choose a card in your hand to permanently destroy. So there's kind of like a clock running as the game goes on, because eventually you could run out of cards and then you're just helpless. So,
I love the attention to detail. Just noticed someone walking past the window in the background.
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm a big fan of the art. Cool, yeah, definitely. I got the card I really like, so I love this card. It's called Augury. Shows you what the enemy's gonna do, and you gain an action, so you can kind of just use it for free when you get it. Alright, so he's gonna charge again. So I'm actually gonna use this fireball to clear out this glass here, and then dodge over here, and then sidestep so I'm in the right position for next turn, and then I'm gonna scan the field to get another action. So that was a pretty optimal turn for me, actually. Got kind of lucky there. So there's a bit of like RNG in it as well. Yeah. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to show off, Tyler.
I hope. Oh, cool. We have some people talking. I hope this isn't a spoiler for Gabriel. It's something we don't want to give away to most of the players in the Kickstarter, but for the sake of the stream, to explain what we're doing. The boss takes less damage and sometimes no damage from the front.
So I can show that
So-
off, yeah. So he only took 1
Yeah.
damage there.
We have an art asset coming in for blocking sprite for him. So right now we just have that placeholder. But the idea for this boss's weakness is from behind. So you have to always be getting behind him to really do optimal damage. But here you do minimal damage. On certain soul levels, you do nothing. You have to be behind them. And so there's going to be almost a puzzle element to all the future bosses. It may not be about being behind them, and be other weaknesses you have to discover and exploit. So, and it's usually discovered through lore and talking to people in the area, and then also watching the boss itself. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So I actually got this distraction card. So I don't know if you guys saw that. When the boss has some special moves where if he hits you, he actually puts cards into your hand. So this distraction one, I don't know if you saw, is whenever you draw it, it discards all the cards in your hand. So if you're like building up a hand and stuff, like he kind of just throws that all to the side, and you gotta start all over again, re-strategize. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that and get out of my hand. It also wastes a spot in your hand. You can only ever have 5 cards in your hand, so that's another part of it as well. But luckily I got the sidestep here, so I'm gonna dodge and I'm actually gonna end my turn now because I actually want to discard this and keep my firebolts just in case I get a good movement card next turn. Oh no! Oh,
oh.
I thought he was gonna do something different. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Augury so I can see what he's gonna do. All right, so he's gonna stay there and cheer next turn. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm actually gonna play his first. This distraction. And as you can see, that that distraction got all my fireballs and things out of my hand, so I'm actually kind of
I want to point this out.
missing. Yeah,
This boss obviously is this drunkard in this bar, and so he's got a lot of bravado. So one of his mechanics, and how we also show some of his lore, is he. Hold on, Bryce. To
sorry.
point out this card over here so we don't miss anything.
yeah, sure.
He cheers periodically, and then puts that card in your hand right there, which is some of his own dialogue to you. So we can give some personality and flavor to characters. It also gums up your hand, and you have to get rid of it. So that's what that move is about. You also just saw Bryce hit him, and then it said enraged. So there's this heat up, and now at the top right, you see the heart. There's all these cool effects behind it. Once you get into half-life, and that number jumps for various bosses and difficulties of where it is, he gets more moves all of a sudden, he gets stronger. So the difficulty spikes a little bit mid-fight too, and you have to be on your toes. So that's what that was about, if you caught that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. And definitely, Ben, I know we're all talking and stuff. If you have any questions or thoughts or anything, we'd love to hear it.
I love the artwork, I've got to say, and I think the detail on the cards is really good. Like, they actually, you could see those being in a shop, you know, physical cards. Fantastic artwork. Animations are great. Yeah. Keep playing, man. I'm
Cool.
enjoying it.
I thought I had one more action, so I might be kind of in trouble here. Okay. Thank goodness. As you can see, I've not memorized the boss fight. Gabriel can beat it on like Soul 3, which is insane, because it's like hard. Gabriel's also the kind of guy who, like, I don't know, you can talk to it better, Tyler, you've described it. He's super good at like Dark Souls and things like that, and he loves just games that are impossibly hard. So Tyler and I, you know, aren't as good, so it's a good balance of like testing it out, making sure it's, you know, still accessible to more casual players than Gabriel.
Right. Yeah.
Ah, shoot.
But the point is, Gabriel loves games that reward you for learning and working hard. So while there's accessible difficulties for anybody, there's a lot of opportunity in this game to be rewarded if you're willing to put that work in and really put yourself to the test.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this idea of, you know, all the lore being useful in the boss as well. So, you know, when you die and you talk to someone, you might learn something, or you can go get a card that explains something else, and you can just piece it all together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice mechanic.
And yeah,
There's also
exactly. Sorry, go for it.
this sort of approach of like each boss having a unique weakness. I think that's a really cool mechanic, because that again just keeps you on your toes. You think, you know, next time you'll do this boss and you think, oh, okay, if I go to the next one and just hit him from behind, I'll get more powerful attacks, but that may not be the case. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And as you go and find different cards and things, different decks are better against different bosses and things. So this guy, it's kind of good to keep your distance, but maybe other bosses, it's good to get like in real close, and you want maybe more staff attacks and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of depth to the combat system. So yeah, I think I win here. We'll see. Cool, perfect amount of damage. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in this, you can hop into our Discord and talk about it, and we have a demo build we're working on that we love to get, some feedback on, especially if you have like a lot of experience with giving feedback on games like this, or if you're passionate about deck builders or boss rush or just fantasy or really anything, or questions about the lore. We love those. Like, the lore is something that we just can never get enough of. So definitely feel free to ask any questions or stuff. How are we doing on time?
Right up
Pretty
right
good.
up to the perfect time to maybe just chat a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I can go to the map and back to the map and wrap up and stuff. So yeah,
You've
if
got
you
a Kickstarter going, have you?
yeah, so
That's gonna
yeah, go for it, Tyler.
Kickstarter is preparing, and it will launch October 5th. So follow the page, spread it around. We have a lot of cool things for the Kickstarter happening. We have visual artists who are collaborating with and doing cool things in our game in their style. We have other
Yep.
composers who are doing our tracks, like chiptune and other cool things, and
Yeah,
we have a lot of really cool stuff happening for the Kickstarter.
yeah, definitely. And there is a link to the Kickstarter in the Discord in the description.
I put it
so.
in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Tyler. Even better. So definitely feel free to come over and check it out. Also, if you like streams like this, we're pretty much just going to use this channel more or less for. We're going to do lots more streams like this. So if you guys know any devs out there that you'd really like us to collab with and do it, like, we're always looking for more people to stream with. And I just think it's an awesome way. Like, Tyler and I love this idea of indie devs and just people who care about games so much that they're willing to just take it on themselves. Sometimes they're working another job on the side, all this stuff. But those are the people, in my opinion, who are making the most passionate, coolest games that tell the best story. So definitely, if there are any indie devs that we can help support or show off, let us know. Or if you want to, get notified for streams like this in the future, you can always subscribe to this channel or hop in our Discord. But yeah.
I was going to say, Bryce, since there's two of us, we did a lot of talking along the way. So, Ben, do you have any just
Yes.
questions generally you'd like to present for you and the viewers' sake that we may have missed and maybe talked over?
Hey, what's the setup with Marco Polo? What the studio itself? How did you guys meet? And
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah.
It's kind of a long story. We were developing our own games, and we had worked with Gabriel in another endeavor at some point. We had to stop our own development, mainly for some health things that came up and just like slowed down our
Yeah.
ability at the time. And then as we got freed up, Gabriel had this game and was looking for people to help bring it to life. And we knew him and we trusted him, and we knew his work was killer. So that's how we kind of got involved with it.
Yeah.
So
And honestly, Tyler and I, in addition to doing our own game dev, so I've known Tyler since high school, and for years we've kind of done our own freelance and contracting things with indie devs and other people all over the board. So it kind of just made sense, Tyler and I were like, we're kind of building this network of artists and other indie devs and people with a lot of experience. What if we use that and put this studio together to act almost like a publisher, kind of in that role? Because indie devs, it's really hard to get a publisher. It's really hard to get those, people who just want to cheer you on and make sure you have the right connections and those resources. So that's kind of where Tyler and I wanted to jump in and say, like, let's just, take Gabriel's awesome idea and use this kind of as a starting point for our studio to see if we can really use our network to help boost that and really make it successful. Because we really believe, that's a game that should exist, and lots of people, I think, would benefit from having it in the world. So
it's really cool. So this is like your first studio game that you're really sort of trying to.
yeah, we've dabbled
go
with
through.
some apps and things that I think, a big part of it is I have an autoimmune disease, and it got super bad right in the middle of one of our games we're working on. So that kind of killed it. We were working on this this app, a mobile game for it was called Martian Trail, where you could play through it, and it's kind of like if you've ever played Oregon Trail or anything. It's a game real popular in the States years ago. It's kind of the same idea where you're taking a trip from Earth to Mars, and lots of events and things come up along the way, and you have to deal with them and stuff. So, but yeah, so that was kind of our first endeavor as a team. Gabriel was part of that too, in a lot of like our marketing and things, as well as just he's really passionate about game development, so he had a lot of opinions and things. But so that's kind of our start and where we kind of started. But Tyler and I we have so many ideas that we'd love to work with eventually. But in the meantime, I think we're happy to just keep this dream alive of trying to help Inanis and then future games and stuff get across the finish line, because we know from experience how difficult that can be.
Yeah, it can be quite an isolated experience developing, and it is great. It's really, I find it really flattering when people go just that little extra mile just to say, to make contact. Like when Tyler made contact about doing some music and stuff, it does mean a lot, and it does help, and it does sort of keep you keep you in a good mood, keep good spirit. And I think there's a lot of good people doing indie devs, and I am one that will just sit in a bubble and just crack on with my game until I get interrupted, and I definitely feel like an interruption's good. Not all interruptions, but like
Right.
You need pulling out your bubble sometimes and just talking to people, and I think this is a fantastic format for that. It's really good.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you. I am really impressed by your game and the Broken and the work that you've done so far. So I'll for sure be jumping in the Discord. And I totally get what you mean. Sometimes you're like heads down in the development and stuff, and you need that outside perspective. So we're happy, to put this together and offer that, and we're going to keep doing things like this in the future. So we're really honored to have you on, and honestly, I feel spoiled getting such an inside look at Broken and getting you to narrate through it and stuff. I probably, as an average person, wouldn't, get that if I found the game and downloaded the demo and things. So it's awesome to have that inside look and have you here, and you seem awesome, and the game itself is honestly looking gorgeous. So I hope you're able to get it, your demo out soon, or whatever you're working towards, whatever your goal is. I have high hopes that it's going to be great.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'm sure you guys will be very successful. I know Tyler's got his fingers in a lot of pies.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're the same. It's great, yeah. And I'm genuinely interested in Inanis. So I'm already following on Kickstarter. I know
Thanks.
where you was with your Kickstarter.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's been a good evening.
Yeah, cool. Well,
yeah,
go for it, Tyler.
I was gonna say it's been a total pleasure, and thank you for everybody in the chat who's come and gone, and watched a little bit of this. And if your name is Brian Rebar and you just got here, go watch the rest of the recording and see some of the games that work, especially Broken from Ben.
Oh yeah.
All of our Kickstarter and Discord links are in the description or in the chat. Check those out. And we'll probably have one next week or the week after. We're just gonna keep doing these.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really appreciate having you on, Ben and Tyler, and we can go ahead and wrap this up and have a good, I think it's evening for you, Ben, and afternoon to you, Tyler, and thanks everybody who was able to make it. We'll see you again soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.